this is the agreement between the cookie militants, the cookie group, not exactly militants, and the government of India. Like yesterday we were telling suspension of operations. Always the peace treaty begins with suspension of operations. I made it a point to start or any subject which we discuss with a news item which is as recent as yesterday. Why this? Please cultivate this habit of starting the news and referring the theory. Don't start with the theory. It helps you only 10% in the UPSC. If you start with the news item of any choice, of your choice, of any subject, including your optional, whatever may be the optional, there are news items, issues in the news. Start that, refer the textbook. Then it won't remain theoretical, it is applied, from application to theory. That's what I follow. That's what I expect from you. To beat 2 to 3 things. One is the boredom. You will be bored. Like I did. I get bored. Bored with information. There is no end to this. We don't know whether it is helpful or not. There is a fatigue, mental fatigue. We tend to give up. So to overcome that, start with the latest current, the news, and go back to. So what happens is you are in touch with what is this cookie joke groups. Yesterday, the origin of from where the cookies originated, from which part of the globe they were brought by the mighty kings for their own protection, and how they remained friendly, so strong group, Metis and cookies till 23 May. Till such time, the cookies and Nagas are at war with each other. To such an extent, even in the schools, the cookie teacher that teaches how to hate a Naga. So that is the rivalry between the Nagas and cookies. Because cookies are brought to counter Nagas basically by mighty kings. So that was the theory. But this is application. Why they agreed? What was the we know that suspension of operations basically like whatever we are doing, we will not continue with that. We will not conduct any operations. We will not conduct any operations. This is the group. Now, again, we go back to imagine that in the Impal Valley, surrounded by hills, the toughest challenge for us is the police is basically to detect this one small weapon hidden in the jungle. It's just not possible. It's impossible. It's impossible. Second, these weapons, most of these automatic weapons come from Myanmar or from Burma or from Bangladesh. Now, when it comes to the border management, we'll see what are all the issues, the problems faced on the border. Coming to this, what are all the things? They say that according to 2008 SVO Pact signed after the Cookie Naga clashes, 90 to 2,200 cadre under umbrella Cookie Naga KNO and UPF were entitled to stipend. That is basically how do you see? Point here is, what do you want? You want peace or fighting with them? They lose nothing. They are educated, no employment opportunities. We'll go to the root causes of insurgency in the entire Northeast. I have identified from my practical experience, there are six root causes for problems in Northeast. If these 6 are at the back of your mind, that is theory actually. That will be useful for your essay, for your interview, for your internal security. What are all those 6 factors? We know that previous year questions we always begin with Border management is a complex task due to difficult terrain and hostile relation with some countries. Elucidate your answer. This is what I always, this is, means what? Make it a habit to write down the question, whatever the topic you are telling. The question is about the border management. We have not touched this subject. Why the border management between Myanmar and Nagaland, between Myanmar and Manipur, Myanmar and Mizoram is so difficult? Because of, we may draw a line like, but there is a riverine, there is a river, there is a hillock, there is what do you call this, thick forest, no roads, no roads. But the local people, they walk across because their family is on the other side. They got married to the other side and this side. You know, there is a Moregaon is one checkpost where you enter Myanmar. All the items available in the border areas are from Myanmar. Medicine, food items, vegetables, fish, non-veg comes from. The same essential commodities to go from Impal to the border area, it takes around 2 days. Instead, they walk across Myanmar and buy. Which one? Are you going to seal that entire border? This is what the difficulty, like border management and hostile relations with some countries, like especially Bangladesh. Elucidate means what? How do I understand this word elucidation? Just check the means. Can you throw some light on this? What do you know about this? The elucidation means, can you, this is the proposition taken by UPSC. This is a statement. So throw some light on this statement. Do you agree or you don't agree with this? What are these? For effective border management. When we go to the border management, we'll elaborate that one. So, okay. Now, we are going to identify, please list these and you are free to add or delete, modify these factors which are universal in nature, which are applicable to Mizoram, which are applicable to Nagaland, entire Northeast, these 6. What are they? Now, the question is again, what is the difference between, because I'm in the nasty habit of trying to understand the exact meaning of these terms. Don't presume నాకు తెలుసు అని మీరు అనుకోవద్దు. That's a trap. Prove it that you know and write it down. You write it down in 2 lines, 10 words. That is the mastery. To reach that, you have to put in effort. Practice. I strongly believe in one word, practice. This is the only thing which helped me in cracking this exam. Practice and practice and practice. What is that practice? I started with the writing practice at the cost of boredom, because I want to plant this idea in your mind that mere reading helps you 10%. Same thing, writing down helps you 90%. It's up to you. It's up to you. This is the most boring thing too, most painful. No escape. There is absolutely. Third one, where the moment you know, you mention a word, I believe that you know its meaning. In situ, yesterday we were mentioning insurgency means, which is unique to Northeast region. Unique to Northeast, number 1. Number 2, this is the sons of the soil. Sons of the soil. They are born and brought up there. The third one is they have a sense of deprivation. Or sense of injustice done to them. And it is time that the system has to be changed. That is their, what is that ism, the ideology which they advocate? They say that this is like take up arms, take up weapons for doing justice to our tribe. Ulpa has taken up weapons. United Liberation Front of Assam has taken up the weapons that the perceived injustice is meted out to Assamese people by Government of India. That's why insurgents. This is in situ. All the ideology is local. All the cadres are local except the weapons. The moment you use the word insurgency means that is localized, predominantly tribal centric. Ideology is born from within. It's not borrowed. Whereas leftist ideology, Marxian, Leninism, Maoist ideology is borrowed. It's not Chhattisgarh based. It's not Andhra Telangana based. It's Russia based, Western based, China based. I borrowed, I adopted, I got influenced by it. So that is not insurgency. They also use weapons and violence as the means to do justice to their tribe. How it is different from militancy then? Militancy is a common noun where you as students in Osmania University perceived that the paper was leaked, the exam was fudged, the marks were unduly given to them who are close to politicians. What do? You militate. You agitate. Right? First, agitation. You fight with the management. Sit in dharna. If you don't get the justice, what you do? You take up weapons. So, it is militancy is a state of mind that agitates or militates. If some of those issues, basically this issue comes up just like that. Just like that. There is no other ideology except addressing the grievances then and there. Once the grievances are addressed, it ceases to exist. So it is not localized. Means this is highly localized to northeast tribal dominated society. This is anywhere, in any university, even the student community or the NGOs, the teachers community. Anybody can agitate against the injustices done. That is called militancy. So loosely the media, they use the word militancy and insurgency, which is wrong actually. It's not a localized one issue where Northeastern Hill University students who are predominantly tribal students agitate against the administration. They militated against the policy of the government. They have insurgents, they are not the sons of the soil. You can become the part of the Nehu. Agitation. But in insurgency group, no, you cannot become the part of my group. It's a highly tribal centric. The cookie group will not accept me as its member. No. The Meitei group accepts only Meiteis, not others, outsiders. That is insurgents. They may take help. A cookie group may take the weapons help from other militant groups, but they won't give the membership. That is a fundamental difference. Anybody can become a member of this militia. Militia is basically, militia is a word which is remotely linked to Maoism, and especially the leftist, where the rural people, the rural working class, the what you call agricultural laborers, they took up small weapons against the landlords. This is called the militia. Against the wage, they are not increasing their wages. That is again localized. So militia, militancy is a highly localized subject. Anybody can become a member of this militia. It's a localized. Whereas insurgency is the tribal centric, specific to Northeast India, where this tribal identity is the central issue. Okay. Now, what are the other causes of? This is one of the. Why it is not coming? Sorry. The root cause of militancy in the entire, the insurgency in the entire Northeast is unemployment. That is the fundamental issue. Unemployment, lack of employment opportunities is to the local youth. There are 2 to 3 sources of unemployment. How do you create employment? You create employment by establishing factories. Oh, correct. That is manufacturing. Manufacturing sector. Or by creating what you call the that is service sector. Or you establish the other service sectors like tourism, hospitality, or agriculture sector. That's all. These are sources of employment. You may say the government jobs is also a source of employment. Government jobs. Just for understanding purpose, take the UPSC. Why only 1,000 vacancies? Why can't recruit for 1 lakh vacancies? Who decides this 1,000? It is the Accountant General Office decides the number of vacancies which are likely to arise. It is a standard. Even for Telangana government, the recruitment to various levels of jobs, the number of vacancies is given by the Accountant General Office, where they maintain the payroll of the employees. Once you get into the IAS or IPS, you get the, who gives your payroll? It's not your DGP, it's not your state government, it is the AG gives you certificate. And AG maintains on which date you are retiring. Accountant General Office. So they maintain in this particular year how many IAS officers are retiring, how many Group 1 officers are retiring. The number gives to the Personnel Department. Personnel Department authorizes either UPSC or Public Service Commissions. That number nearly fixed. Now government jobs is limited scope. Now what they have done in the there is hardly any manufacturing in the entire Northeast. Will you establish a software company in Northeast? Why not? Why only in Hyderabad? Commonsensically, connectivity. First point is connectivity. Second one, a pool of skilled manpower, requirement of this skilled hands, and second one is connectivity. So manufacturers will not go there. The software companies will not go there because you don't want to go to, suppose you prefer to either work in here or somewhere in Bangalore or Chennai as a software professor than going to Guwahati or going to Manipur, Imphal. Even if someone dares to establish a software company there, not possible. Internet connections, not available. Because only the state capitals and the district level, very rudimentary internet service is available. So even if you want to sell your produce, suppose you produce organically grown oranges, you want to send it to Delhi, your local farmer, it's either by train or by flight. It's so expensive. So you want to sell online, for example, Amazon. Internet is not there. So imagine how the local factors compounded the result in unemployment. Education wise, 70%. The literacy rate across Northeast is around 70%. Now, where will these education people go? They compete for government jobs. Very limited intake. No manufacturing. No internet services. Whatever the little bit of hospitality, the tourism is there. The potential is there, but infrastructure is not there. You visit, say, for example, beautiful lake in the Imphal Valley. That is the only lake where the islands float. You can stay there in this one, in the islands. These are the grass islands. This is one of the beautiful spots to visit. But air connectivity is there. Then where will you stay? Tourism. The infrastructure is missing. The trained manpower is missing. Your food coming from Telangana going to Manipur, you prefer idli, dosa, sambar, vada. There you bread and butter, bread and omelette, nothing more than that. So here, agriculture is basically, I told you, the hilly terrains, agriculture, the land is not productive. So now, as a civil service aspirant, keep these factors in mind to address the issue of unemployment. Okay, you may ask, why don't they come to Hyderabad? Why don't they come to go to mainland for the jobs? They're the tribal boys and girls. They're deeply connected with their tribe and the clan and the family. Bring them to Hyderabad, give them 50,000. Keep them back home in Manipur village, give them 3,000. They prefer that than here. It is the psychology. It is the social structure. So that is the reality. So we cannot just create jobs just like that. Why this is important factor for me is the government of India exactly identified these factors and earmarked. There is a one grand scheme by government of India that is called HIRA, that is diamond. It's a master plan to address the issue of unemployment, create jobs locally by, first and foremost, as we are mentioning, H stands for highways. Create local, what you call this, infrastructure, roads. Once the roads are there, you need labor, you need truck drivers, right? You need mechanics, you need a mason, electrical plumber, right? The local boys and girls. For them, education is by the way. If employment is created locally, even at 5 to 10,000 rupees a month, they're very happy. Very happy. So HIRA is one master strategy of the government of India for the entire Northeast. That is, focus on highways. There are certain news items which I share it with you. What are all the major highways Government of India initiated. I stands for internet, especially 4G and 5G connections at the village level. It's the master stroke. Like now, sitting at home, like now, the internet is assured. Now you need not travel 20 kilometers to go to the nearest bank to withdraw $100. Now sitting at home, the what called the UPI payments, UPI gateway is another master stroke just to create local employment. For this, then conduct the training programs, skilling programs under Pradhana Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. This is the skilling program for the local youth in internet related jobs. The third one is R stands for railways and A stands for airways. So with this HERA program, the government of India earmarked 75,000 crores to connect. That's why remoteness. Address the issue of remoteness, not physically, it is a psychologically. By giving them roads, by giving them rail connectivity, the first time from Jiribam, Assam border, Manipur border to the Imphal, I'm forgetting the name. The first time the rail connectivity, the first rail reached that is called Rani Gidenlu railway station in Manipur. Imagine it took nearly 75 years after independence. That's why they say that we are not part of India. So under airways, we have this UDAN scheme that is a highly subsidized air connectivity, highly subsidized. UDAAN, UDAN scheme, the government of India. Then railways are already on the. So now the root cause of the Northeast problems, last 10 years, why there is a drastic decline in the militancy related, insurgency related activities in Northeast, thanks to pumping nearly 1 lakh crores into that area.